this is related to what we were just talking about.
Right.
Serve the song. Serve what's happening around you. If somebody's being busy,
Don't be busy.
don't be busy. If nobody's doing anything, do
act up.
something.
Okay.
But this
Counterbalance,
especially is
counterbalance.
this song is a pretty simple example of this, because there's like, it's sort of call and response. You know, there's like
it
there's
is.
this vocal and everybody goes, or whichever harmony they're gonna do. Yeah, E mixolydian. All right, we're in there. E mixolydian. The basic idea of that hook, it's like a B minor 7 chord, right? Again, we're in, but the bass is just droning on E.
Right.
That's one way they play it. They also go, it's all chord tones, or you can do an inversion, go up to this 9 up here, the C sharp, and all these are all scale tones from E mixolydian. So you can go, you know.
Yeah. You're just following the rhythm. You can harmonize it with a 5 or a 1.
Yeah, and that's what they're doing. They're just sort of like screwing around sometimes, and sometimes people are going up to the B, and sometimes they'll go serendipitously to the G sharp so that they get a little harmony or whatever. It's just a shape on the guitar fretboard, really.
Oh, so easier.
And then so that's an example of it's a call and response that's sort of loosely fixed anyway. So you got you know,
Well, I have a quick question.
and then so you're singing, and then you do. But sometimes they don't play that. So then at that point, there's these little twinkly.
Yeah.
And that's literally, I mean, the Rhodes, he's playing up high, he's playing the middle,
really
just like the texture solo we were just talking about. Chord tones, but really anything from the that mixolydian scale. It's just, this is where, when you're in the practice room, you're practicing hearing things. Yeah. So when you've got the Rhodes, the first thing that jumped out at me is he's doing this big power chord, the 5th, E and B. So the bass is just holding the E. And if this is why, you know, learning your chord tones, it's great. And then if you get the, like, experiment with this sound, the 3rd, and then you can play it up there. And then sometimes he's going, you know, 4, 2. Come up with these little twinkle, sparkle melodies. It's just, I mean, if you just sit and play this, you play that B minor 7 over E. Yeah. Just play that on your Rhodes, or piano, or whatever. Just play that chord, and then try to hear a note. And see if you can.
Oh,
play
nail it. Right, for ear training.
Yeah, so, I mean, sing, go.
Yeah. And then there it is. Yeah.
And then,
right.
That kind of thing.
That's great.
And that's how you develop the habit of not just playing whatever.
Right.
You hear a note.
You're calling the shots. Right.
Yes. And then you have this.
And you're executing. Right. Question, I wasn't focusing at all on the bass. What is the bass? Were you?
It's a drone.
That's what I thought. Okay.
I'm just playing an E.
Yeah. Because in this printout, it says it goes to D, and I was question marks. No. I don't think so.
I mean, not in this version.
Right, exactly. Could be other versions. Okay.
But other than that, if you're, okay, so another approach is, it's really hard to describe, but
I know, you've done this type of thing for me before, and it's like you just have to
what's happening in my body right now is I'm feeling
the rhythm, right?
So it's the same concept that we've been doing with the timeline and
with
all
the
that,
8
but
beats
if this is kind of a swung little thing. So if I'm by myself playing, I'm gonna make sure I get the downbeat, and then it's just feeling
and using in the bass the 5 and the 8.
So in other words, I'm playing the things that I'm playing. It's not so much the notes as the rhythm.
Yeah.
And the rhythm is not something that's totally. It's not really planned out. It's just if you have this in your head, then you can do little rhythms based on that. So
you want to play for a little while just with that, and then I listen, and I can even play along. And you sometimes once in a while toss in the bass a third.
Usually just root
just
fifth.
1/5, no, never.
And again, I'm playing in this is mixly, and I'll go to the B minor 7, and the E is really, or sometimes to A.
Right, because then there's a chorus later on.
Oh, that's different. We're just talking about the vamp.
I know.
But again, in your brain, it's a sense of proportion and balance that you develop over time. And one way to do it, is have specific things that you practice, which I think we've done before. If you go, that's.
I don't know.
Practice this. If it's da 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 da. If you go 1, 2, 3, and 4, and.
Oh, we should.
1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the hands kind of fill in for one another.
Mm-hmm.
And this, again, in the practice room, what you do is come up with things that you like and practice them, like this one. 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. Does that make sense?
It does, but I would have to write it down, because what I find I do is just it's like random, and then it's not.
Don't be
it's
random.
Not a good exactly.
Random. I mean, it's random means not intentional to me.
Right.
Like, so
it does, and it's not.
When you practice creating, this is the hard part too. This is the slog that nobody likes to do.
No, I
but
know.
This is the important thing. This is how you find your voice, and you become somebody that people will listen to and want to play with. Is you create things that you like, and you're able to do it on the fly. Again, spontaneous composition. It means that you've spent the time to compose these things. You know it's balanced and proportioned well because you've spent the time, you've practiced it, and you've listened back to yourself playing it, and you've gone, oh, I really like that. That one works.
And you
and
can do it steadily or something for a little bit.
Well,
section.
And also you can you play it well because you're not guessing.
Right.
You're
There's
confident.
Some confidence behind it.
Yeah, you are confident in what you are saying.
Right.
And when you practice, like that kind of thing. Just something. That's another one, right? If you compose 10 or 15 of those, and are really well, you can do it, or even just start with five really good ones. and you practice each of those, and you're confident with each of those, and then turn your brain off, you'll just switch back and forth between them.
So what I should do, in other words, is go to that notebook with and then mark up which ones I'm doing the bass line, 1, 5, back to the 1, and then put the chord on them.
And again,
5 of them
it's almost not even important what note you're playing. This is rhythm stuff. As long as you're doing, because this is your basic chord, and if you're just...
Well, I do all that. I just do it more randomly.